Top 10 Facts about North Korea. There is little information about North Korea and its culture. Much of what many know about the country comes from news headlines such as launching of ballistic missiles and the response by other countries to these tests. However, there is more about the country. Here are 10 fascinating facts about North Korea. 1. North Korea has the largest stadium. The Rungrado 1st of May Stadium, or May Day Stadium, is officially the largest stadium in the world. The location of the stadium is Rungra Island in Pyongyang. The stadium brags a seating capacity of 150,000 people and comfortable seats for spectators. The stadium occupies 20.7 hectares of land space. The stadium first opened its doors on 1st of May 1989 as a show of national power and size. The first major event here was the 13th World Festival of Youth and Students. The May Day Stadium hosts events such as soccer, wrestling, artistic performances, and gymnastics. The stadium is where the country holds the annual mass games of Arirang Festival and the Pyongyang Marathon. 2. North Korea has no taxes. Yes, North Country touts itself as the only country that has no taxes. Officially, the state does not have a tax system and therefore does not collect revenues from its citizens. The country abolished the agricultural tax in kind in 1966 during the end of the collectivization of North Korea agriculture. March 21, 1974 saw the abolition of direct taxes including income tax. Today, North Korea marks the day of tax abolition on the first day of April every year. However, there is a non-monetary form of tax where the republic periodically requires the citizens to donate free labor or materials to government projects. The country collects corporate tax from foreign companies that operate in the country's special economic zones. 3. North Korea is a leading exporter of seafood. Despite the economic sanctions imposed on North Korea, the country rips big from trade in seafood. China remains the country's key trade partner, with China accounting for 60% of North Korea exports. North Korea's main export commodity is fish and other seafood, which account for about a quarter of the country's exports. North Korea holds a spot among the top 20 countries that export seafood products. The country's seafood finds its way to various countries, including those that have banned trade with North Korea, including Japan and the United States of America. According to Reuters, Chinese exporters buy seafood from Chinese wholesalers who acquire the products from North Korean counterparts at the border of the two countries. The exporters package the product in China and export it as seafood from China. 4. North Korea citizens have access to 4 TV stations. All televisions entering North Korea are pre-tuned to the country's stations and must undergo inspection and registration with the police, and the state owns all the broadcasters. Most viewers in Pyongyang have access to a handful of TV stations, but other parts of the country have a limited number of TV stations. Most citizens across the republic can only receive the national broadcaster Korean Central TV (KCTV). KCTV airs the main news, significant cultural and political events, as well as magnitude of propaganda. On an ordinary day, the TV will air a documentary about Kim's, an old Korean movie, and several kids' programs. The TV guide will also feature agricultural shows and construction projects. During weekdays, the state TV remains off-air until 5 p.m. except on the weekends and during live events, emergency events, and national holidays. The other TV stations are available only in Pyongyang and not the entire country. Manzaday TV is more of an educational TV that airs during the weekends. It is popular because it airs Chinese as well as East European movies during the evening. Manzaday TV is available through the IPTV system. Sports television is the country's sports channel, which also airs during the weekends. Ryongnamsan TV airs educational content. 5. North Korea uses human feces as organic fertilizer. Due to poverty, South Korean farmers use human feces to fertilize their farms. In a bid to resuscitate the country's struggling agriculture, the president issued an order that demanded every citizen to turn over 200 pounds of human waste each day. According to news sources, the order was to prepare fertilizer for the next farming season. Well, this amount is impossible for any single person to produce. Most citizens, however, could only give what they thought was sufficient. The rush to fulfill the quotas at times resulted in violence among citizens to control public restrooms. There are reported instances of fecal theft. Those who could not meet the quotas resorted to mixing soil with feces to attain the weight targets. The escalating demand for the scarce product opened a business opportunity. Some merchants traded dry feces. Some families would buy horse or cattle manure from ranches. While the aim is to boost the agricultural sector, the manure poses a risk of spreading infectious and parasitic diseases. 6. North Korea has a propaganda village. The village of Kajongdong in North Korea sits near the border with South Korea. From beyond North Korea, the village resembles an ordinary town with brightly painted houses and amenities such as daycare, schools, and hospital. A keen look at the village shows a different picture. The village is fake and unoccupied. The building's windows have no glass and the lighting system operates on an automatic timer. Soldiers patrol the streets and the other people seen around the building are the maintenance team and cleaners who sweep the streets. Every morning visitors arrive by bus and let their children play around the village. A close view when the evening lights are on suggests the buildings lack floors. An extensive farm surrounds the town, which the state claims are a combined farm for the village. The aim of constructing the town was to show the neighbors from the south all the privileges available in the north. The village is like a decoy to lure the citizens of the south into defecting to the north. 7. North Korean citizens serve in the military. In North Korea, most men undertake military service while females undergo selective recruitment into the army. The age of conscription starts at 17 and the service ends at the age of 30. Men of sound physical health serve in active duty. However, citizens can complete their military service off active duty in areas such as police service. Those with health issues can complete service in non-active assignments in fields such as social work and other services for the government. Objection to military service can lead to a jail term. By the age of 18, those with dual citizenship must serve in the military or revoke their Korean citizenship. The country exempts some citizens from military service. Those exempted include children born to political elites, those with exceptional skills, those who have won gold medals in Olympics and citizens with debilitating conditions such as diabetes. 8. North Korea has its own timeline. Yes, North Korea exists in its time zone. As of the 5th date of August 2015, North Korea created the Pyongyang time, named after the country's capital. The Pyongyang time is 30 minutes behind the Japan and South Korea time. The country changed its time zone to mark 70 years since the liberation of Korea from Japan. The time zone is not new to Korea, the country used Pyongyang time prior to the Japanese rule. Again, North Korea's calendar differs from that of the Western states. The calendar years count after the birthday of Kim Il-sung, the founder of the country. Their calendar will turn to year 108 in 2020. 9. North Korea restricts internet access. North Korea has internet, but there are two categories of the same. The first is a restriction-free internet limited to use by high-ranking officials in the government and people in a few industries. The second is limited and is the only option for the rest of the citizens. The latter can only access a limited number of websites, most of whose content is state propaganda. Citizens can only access internet services through outdated dial-up connections. Most Koreans cannot even access the connection due to cost. Owning a computer is expensive and entails vigorous inspection and registration with the authorities. 10. The is a vast demilitarized zone. A huge demilitarized zone, DMZ, separates North Korea from South Korea. The DMZ is about 4 kilometers wide and stretches a distance of 248 kilometers. It follows latitude 380 N, hence the name 38th parallel. The demarcation line officially came into existence at the end of the Second World War. The Korean Armistice Agreement provided for the establishment of the demilitarization zone. It was born out of the agreement between China, North Korea, and the United Nations Command. The region acts a buffer between North and South Korea. It serves as a border barrier dividing the Korean peninsula into half. Due to stalemate and between North Korea and South Korea, each country stations a large number of troops on its side of the demilitarized zone. The Armistice Agreement spells out the number of soldiers and the kind of weapons permitted in the DMZ. Soldiers can patrol in the zone but cannot cross to the other side. The DMZ is probably among the most dangerous places on Earth. Sporadic violence in the past has seen the loss of soldiers from both North and South in the United States.